So I'd like to just give a brief kind of a demo, yeah, of sorts, to include some of the information in the lecture that we talked about and how you would apply that, or how it is applied, yeah, specifically, as specific as we can get. So I do need somebody on the table to work with. I think you've been on this table more than anyone in the class. Mm-hmm. Have you? What do you think? Yes? Yeah. Yeah. What's that? I didn't hear that. He's always on the table? No, no. He's not on the table that much, is he? Oh, under the table. Ah. So you're an under the table guy. So let's just start with really simple things and, just, okay, so let your legs go long. Just lie down. And while you're lying here, the first thing we want to do is move the person into their sensory system. And you want to do that immediately, right, when the client comes in and lies down. So as you're lying here, keep your eyes closed so you can just go and sense your kinesthetic self, your kinesthetic receptors a little easier. If your eyes are open, you eliminate about 40% of your kinesthesia. On the other hand, you integrate your visual centers, which are an enormous part of your brain. About half of your brain cells are involved in vision. That's a lot. So, but we want it to not interfere with sensation right now, because that's what we're going to focus on, is sensing. So can you sense, if you were like lying on a tightrope down your spine and under your head, Tom? So could you imagine which way your head would go off if you fell asleep? That way, okay? And then maybe you could feel from the contact of your back of your ribs and your spine and the thoracic area, which way would that fall off? Your trunk, basically. Okay? It's fine to make a guess. We know that making guesses, the person will probably, with their unconscious mind, guess the right thing more often than not. Right? That's been established by tons of research. So, okay, good. We don't care if he's right or wrong or, just, okay, he made that guess and it's possibly right, but more possibly than wrong. So now could you also do that with your pelvis and see which way would that go? Okay. So left, and your head would go right. And then feel your two legs and notice which is turned out the most, the right or the left? The left, okay. So that's a good way, right? The person enters their sensory system, they focus on that. They're no big deal right here. I mean, you've done that many times and you all have. But a client, for the first time, no, that's a radical idea to think about. It could be quite confusing. It might take more time. Okay, now that we know that, let's just go and explore this. Just see how easy is it to move Thomas's head. Now, when I go here, I feel it wants to stop. I feel like I have to push much harder. I have to use more effort, right, to perform the work of turning. And on this side, it feels easy. Maybe my hands are biased. My arms might be biased, right? It's possible. So it's fair enough to, oh, now it really is. Oh. All right, both hands say the same thing, right? And you can feel that, right? It's much easier turning to the right because yeah, wow, it's interesting. Let's fix it. No. We're not going to do that at all. But what we could do, just simple things that would invite more of the sensory system to become involved, you could just go like this and see what happens. Oh, okay, well that's chonk. So there's a button here I found. Yeah, I just push it and his head turns. So we go, there we are. See, it's better when you do that quickly is fine, but then after a while you want to go slowly. That return. That was oh yeah, right. We talked about in your lesson, yeah. So you get a different result, but they can feel more, right? If you release them slowly back to neutral, right, as opposed to just dropping the shoulder. So we'll try the other side and just see. Now he doesn't have a button here to toss his head to the left. So that's okay. So here we go that way, here we go that way, and we'll see if we can maybe change the situation by just addressing. Look, like this could go down here, and that could go up. I'm going right over to this is his clavicle, his collarbone, and I'm going right into the ribs, second and third ribs, and just pressing a little bit while I lift this shoulder, and now his head goes to the left quite easily. Right? Almost as if it just helplessly follows that movement. Now we'll let him rest for a little while with his head over to the side. It's not as familiar, right? Until that feels comfortable. It's accepted by his brain. Your nervous system has to accept information, right? You can provide the person with any amount of whatever, brilliant this, clever that, but actually all that counts is what they learn. It's not, and that's not even up to you. So, which means don't try too hard, right? To have a successful lesson. Don't try too hard, because what may seem very successful to you might not mean much to them. Okay? Let's just go back again and start to see. Oh, that's changed. Look at that. Can you feel that difference? Yeah. Okay, nice. So, okay, so we look, we can also just go here and just go here and see how his head rolls just with that movement of those first ribs. Just the movement of the first ribs. Yeah, nice. Ooh, yeah. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. One of the most basic things we do in functional integration with the arms, right, is something like this. Just there we go. Let's see if this. Yeah. Good. Slow back. You could go this way if you wanted to give a greater sense of stability in the shoulder. Imagining the scapula being like a saucer is a common idea. So you go around and make sure the whole circle is available, right? The whole circle is equally available. And so you go, oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. And then you come down again through the midline, just as you would go up through the midline, because on the way to where you're going, the hand gets near the mouth, right? A primary idea. Yeah, good. Okay, other side. Oh, you like your... he likes this arm because you turned his head to it. So maybe he's just... rather than his neck is different from side to side, it may be that he's just lusting after this arm. He wants to kiss this arm. Look at that. So, yeah, let's take advantage of his lust for the arm. There we go. Now here's a sensation, just moving this way, like this, very radical, unusual feeling. A lot of people, it's like, wow, you know. And here's something Feldenkrais used to do, is to brush the back of the hand against the opposite cheek, circles, whatever you want to arrange. But Just, it's like almost like, oh yeah. Let the shoulder down. It's very nice. And you do let them rest for a little while there. Get used to the feeling. So that they get used to unfamiliar sensations. You see? Because we're stuck. All of us are stuck in the familiar in some way. And it has to be that way. You have to have habits that are deep enough so your unconscious mind can do most of the work of your life. Most of it. Your conscious mind, you don't have to really think about that much. Right? You look at something, you just see it. You don't have to go, oh, here come the photons. Okay, I'm going to have to convert those photons into electrochemical signals. Okay, now how does that turn into an image? Let me work on that. You don't have to do that. Right? It's all done for you. Let's just see. Well, it seems. Oh, look at that. Whoa. Sorry to rattle you. So now look, you could go, well, that's fine, or we could work with the arms more, right? Cross the arms, whatever. There's a lot of things you you could do, but just to give you the idea of thinking in terms of the sensory system and all of the consequences of entering that royal road to the unconscious mind, and possibly the royal road to higher consciousness, whatever that means exactly. So now, like so. You see how this all simple things put together can, oh, thank you. Coffee really is drying. Thank you. It's always good to have a glass of vodka nearby when you're, reduces anxiety. Okay, now here we go. Open. See? Now this may seem like really no big deal. You're just moving a leg open. Do you know how many feelings people have about that? Not even sensations, but you're entering the limbic system. Their feelings about having their crotch exposed and open. Everybody has feelings about that. Now, people, if you're really hip and you're used to a lot of things, no, of course. But most people will. And this is appreciated. Right? It closes that. Yeah. See, that habit of, right? I mean, Feldenkrais was very clear, and I realized not just from him, but Stanley Kellerman and other people I've studied with, that when people have that habit of engaging their adductors, that's, sure, that habit is deeply religious. Yeah, well. So, okay. So this, in other words, belongs to the superego, those cultural influences on the body, right? I believe this, I believe that, I shouldn't do this, I should do that. And so you get muscles to reinforce the belief, of course. You get tightnesses, and right? So this is a little difficult because, he's fighting. So what to do? Well, we could just leave it. Right? We could just leave it. Or maybe just make it more comfortable or interesting. Yeah? By pushing directly through the bones, directly into the spine, and seeing how his spine and head operate. Good, nice. Let's see if we can just go like this. Nope, not ready yet. But there, that's okay. That's okay. So, is this okay? Is this okay? Oh, sure. Okay. So I'm just trying to find if we can do this more easily, right? That's all. Just looking for ease. Okay, fine, sure. Yeah? Good. Whoa, nice. That was nice. right? Everything opened up for a little while. And you never know. It could be that the person can't detect in that world of sensation that they're not defending, right? I mean, they are defending to some degree, but that in that world you can provide the person with new sensations they won't resist. So things can be opened and moved. Mm-hmm. Nice, 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 nice. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. There we go. Feel those fingers there on your spine? Yeah, look what that does. Oh, yeah. See, we'll settle this knee down, go down his spine. This is a terrific feeling. So I'm sure you can imagine. This is a very nice feeling. Okay. So he has to learn that sensation, just to really feel that this not only can open, but that that's okay, right? That it can open is a sensory issue. That it's okay is a feeling about that sense, right? It's a feeling about the sensation. Mm-hmm. Okay. Nice. There's a sensation he really likes. Huh? You like it? You do it a lot? Well, it's good. You see a lot go in your hips doing that, right? So, right, he really releases. So now, and it's open, right? So he learned it in another way better. Just refined it a bit by doing this silly, simple thing. Yeah. Hoo, 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 hoo. Okay. So what? Let your legs go down again. So it's just I consider this just a sample, of how you can think, and then you could end by going back to your like a reference movement, right? So we go here. Now his head is lying to the left, which is altogether interesting to me. So let's see if we. Look at how much range you've gained here. My goodness. Remember where you got stuck? Like it was about here, but I feel nothing there. It just goes right through. How did you do that?
You did it.
No, I didn't. No, I can only move you around. Your brain has to do it. That's an absolute truth, right? His brain has to do it, has to create that. Nice. Now he goes, uh-oh. Trying to be a fox, huh? Good. Okay, we'll just leave it here. I mean, you could expand it, you could slow it down, but that actually is enough of a lesson, just to feel how you let go inside the legs, how you, just the whole thing, simple things of the neck that you all know, nothing new here, right? Not a single movement was new or different. But you see, the relationship and the thinking may be a little different than you're used to, right? It's not tight or loose or stuck or not stuck or blocked energy. It's nothing of that kind. Right? It's thinking in terms of what's safe to sense and what's not, what in the sensation can be addressed at the level of sensation, or does it have to move up into at least being aware of the feeling that might lead to that sensation and that organization of the muscles and bones. Questions? Yeah? Okay. Questions or comments? Sure. Thank you.
Where have I been?
Where have you been? Yeah, yes.
Oh.
You could turn
Sorry?
to face the mic. Yeah.
Anne? So you want me to talk about what happened? Um, well, I thought it was really interesting that I got up on the table, which I rarely do, for this particular thing because of the whole religious Catholic. And I mean, I'm not a practicing Catholic, but I still feel, what you're talking about. Um, and so, I almost started to shake a little bit when you were throwing my legs around.
Throwing your legs around. Oh, well. It's okay.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, but when I set up, I did feel, wow, I went somewhere else that was not here. Like I was just kind of deep inside myself somewhere, feeling what was going on. I mean, I was hearing everything that you were saying, but I was definitely somewhere else. And when I sat up and opened my eyes, I think, wow, geez, I'm here.
Yeah. And you made it acceptable, you see. So what he did was allow himself to go into a trance. Maybe you didn't realize you were going into a trance, but you were there in a sensory trance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you could take in also that idea that there's a feeling organized behind it. It could be very far in the past, but religious feelings and beliefs, that that are constructed then in your muscles, represented in your holding patterns and your movements. Storytelling.
Yeah, which is a kind of a trance also, in a way.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you put people into a trance when you do that.
People have often said that they just went somewhere else.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the story they're, oh, I'm here. Yeah. So, I mean, you do go on a journey, I mean, I feel when I'm storytelling that I'm taking people on a journey. They need to feel safe with me. And we go through it. And if they feel safe, they'll come. If they don't, they won't. And at the end, we're back kind of to where we started. Yeah. And also that the room has experienced something together that they probably wouldn't have individually. 'Cause I think the feeling in the room also influences so much, at least what I do.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And still questions that or comments that people might have. And we need to know if this made sense or was clear or not.
What if someone was very clear that it was not okay to open their legs?
Then that's it.
Then you just don't do it?
No, of course
Okay.
not. Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
There's countless ways to trick them into it, but if they actually, no, I don't want that, or just, of course, don't do it. It's the same as if they said, my arm is broken. Don't futz with it. Well, okay, you don't.
What if they're not explicit with language, but they...
Well, what if they can't really let the muscles go, and you've tried to, let's say you just did exactly what we did, but the person kept their adductors tight, and they didn't seem to change it. If they don't change it, that's it. You move on. The worst thing to do in an FI lesson is to go, this they can't do. I'm going to figure out how to make them do it. immediately you step outside of the Feldenkrais method, right? You step outside of all the notion of what is functional integration. What's a lesson? I mean, think of it. Just what's the lesson? Come on, let's go. You know, I'm going to make those legs open. No. What's that? Uh-huh. Yeah, you got willowy. Yeah. Hmm? Oh, right. Sorry.
So bouncing my feet on the table made all the difference for me. I was able to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of shows there are ways around it other than forcing the situation.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fact, Janet did that yesterday for me while we were doing that F5 practice. I thought I had my knees going down to the table, and she supported my legs halfway down, and I realized that I was still holding, and it was eye-opening to me. It was really lovely, but it was just having a support, not forcing it down, but
Yeah. Anything else? Is it in any way, could this provide a kind of a support system for your thoughts when you're giving a lesson? The idea that you're educationally beginning with the sensory system, right? That movements serve the sensory system, not the other way around. It serves the person's perceptions, their kinesthetic sense of themselves, their what's called your somatosensory fibers. Not your ocular fibers or your auditory fibers or the teleceptors, no. But the interior reception, your proprioception. And you just begin there and you stick to that, and let things just flow out of that if they do, and if they don't, it's okay. Either everyone's stymied or tired or... Great thought. Good. Yeah. Because people are so worried about what to do, as they get to leave a program, there's that sense of, well, I need more techniques. I don't know what to do. Yet doing is the last step. Really doing means how to execute things that would increase the person's sensory experience and sensory clarity and sensory integration. And then the movements occur, right? The movements then occur. And that's the functional integration. But you have to start with sensory.
So how did you know when you bounced my feet that you said, oh, he likes that? How did you know that?
I don't know how I know these things.
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing I would not know.
Yeah. See, that's unconscious, so I don't know. I can't access it anymore. I just watch somebody walk sometimes. It's like, okay, what they need is this and this and this. It's just, which is useless for you.
Right,
You know what I mean? I can't teach that because I don't know how I do it. I know what's over a long, long period of just doing things. I don't know. I learned it. No, he didn't have much resistance at all. No, none.
Like every time I've done that, there's usually, at least the first two, there's some resistance, and he, like the very first one, you're like, I don't know. I look like, I wouldn't have used the words that you liked it, but I thought, it looked to me that it was, an idea that you were, I would say, from my perspective, you trusted Frank by that point. You were like, yeah, go ahead, which is another way of saying you liked it, I guess. But.
Mm-hmm. I had no idea. Yeah.
I see my little boy do that all the time. Well, not like that, but his legs are straight. And there's so much just satisfaction when he does that. Like you just
He really
remind me of
enjoys
a
it, huh?
baby. Like it's like a baby thing. We're just like just totally satisfied and really cute.
And this is 7 months or
He's 7 months.
7 months?
Yeah,
that's
he's,
good.
he's just
So
everything.
let's just a little bit further with this, okay? That's interesting. So how you could frame that is, well, her baby is not yet walking, right? Not standing up and walking, but all developmental movements, right? All of developmental movement is geared to finally get you on your feet and walk. So what do you need sensorially to do that? Where are my feet is a big one. How do my legs flex and extend effortlessly? Big one, right? So your child is doing,
Leg flaps.
yeah.
Leg flapping. Yeah.
But I'm just saying that how
Yeah.
clearly that's focused. Why would a baby do that? Well, good reasons. Good reasons.